they can have a smooth transition. That's going to actually be one of my number one problems that I tackle is helping military members who want to transition. I think the military is changing. I don't think there's anything bad with it. But I know that some people kind of need help transitioning into the real world. So I want to make sure we're setting people up for success. If you guys are watching this and you are a military member and you want to like, hey, know how to like replace your income. And I'm not talking about disability or whatever that stuff is. I'm talking about legitimate strategy to replace your income in 90 days so you can have a smooth transition. Please DM me and say, military, I have something incredibly special just for you. If you're watching this and you're a military veteran and you're about to get out in a year or two and you're a little nervous, you're a little scared, and you want to come up with a plan, please DM me on Instagram, Shan_T_ I'm just the one with the blue check. DM me military. I know what it's like. I was there. I know exactly what you're going through. I want to give you strategy. I'm not going to ask you for a credit card. I'm not going to ask you for anything. I just want to give you legitimate strategy so that you can literally transition with confidence. That's actually the number one problem that I'm going to be back that I'm like working on dialing in. So if you guys are watching this, and make sure you have, you know, your credit right, man. We're going to like come up with a custom game plan for you. Okay. So make sure you have great credit, man. It's the number one thing I tell you when you get out the military. I know that first and 15th is nice, but when you transition, make sure everything's on point. What were you about to say there? You want first one?
Whoever says they know Aquaform when they see it, that's funny. But I'm really glad to hear that because the military is a big, big thing for me. I feel like there's a lot of issues that civilians wouldn't be privy to or wouldn't understand or, you know, just don't think exists there. And I feel like it's something that desperately needs to be brought to light regarding transitioning in, mental health issues, especially Sanish, you know, being a woman and a woman of color in the military. Girl, I'm just glad you made it and you're still glowing because it's an experience. Now, my other question that I had is that I remember on one live you said that, you know, most men of your caliber or above or, you know, a high value man, monogamy isn't going to work for them.
I stand on it.
As you should, you said it. So I was just wondering, when it comes to many successful men that I'm aware of, for is like him 500, Poppy Chulo, Neo Davis, Grant Cardone, they all have wives. Do you think that it just works for them specifically, or you think like they cheated, like because those are
No. I don't want to speak on their relationship. I've been at tables with him 500. I've like shaken Grant Cardone's hand. I've like shaken all those guys' hands and personally like met them. Some of the most ethical and genuine guys ever. And I can't speak on their relationship if that's clearly what they're doing works for them. I think the beauty of a woman is that it allows a man to like focus. Right? So having a woman in your life is always going to be a great thing. There's stability, right? Which will allow you to focus on like your mission. I just know for me and this generation, I personally just think things are like a little bit differently. I think when Grant Cardone met Elena, social media did not exist. Like dating completely revolutionized dating. Like it is like totally different dating now than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago when a lot of these people met their wives. A lot of these people, Neil Davis especially, met his wife when he was literally like, before he ever became an entrepreneur. I think he got fired from like 19 different jobs. And I'm not speaking anything on him. He's a great guy that like their situations work for them. And I don't want to even speak too much on that because personally, that's not for me to like speak on. You know what I mean? But for me in my situation, I just feel like dating in this era is totally like different.
And with that being said, because I don't think there's anything wrong with a poly relationship. I've been in a poly relationship before, but do you think that it can also be a sense of lack of discipline when it comes to wanting so many women? Because there's always going to be a woman younger, finer, smarter. It's always going to be greater.
Yeah. I see why you can say that, and I see how it can be perceived that. But to be completely transparent with you, I think that I am more disciplined than like so many guys out there because every single day I get messaged by absolutely beautiful women from all over America and sometimes all over the world trying to shoot their shot. I have girls that just randomly send me nudes every single day. And I feel like I'm very disciplined and I have not had any type of intercourse with anybody that I'm not in a relationship, and I have like had plenty of chances if that's what I wanted to do. I feel like I'm more disciplined than like most men, period. Because most men will never, and I'm not trying to say I'm all that, it's just the position that I happen to be in for whatever reason, I don't know. But the position I'm in, most men will never like get that ever.
And that is a form of discipline as well. So I definitely do want to not acknowledge that. But I guess when I'm saying it, I'm saying it's discipline as for Shanice and Olivia. I have two amazing women. I feel like I'm fulfilled. But then, like I say,
I
as a
will,
human, we're always going to know, like, there's going to be someone cuter, younger, more far along, more mature. Like, so not necessarily you don't cheat or you don't respond to all the nudes. You know, of course, you're in a relationship. But I'm saying for as discipline or, I don't want to say greed, but just like, if they going to keep flowing and they're quality women, I'm going to take them. Where did that idea come from?
so for me, mine's is mission oriented. For me, I just think that it is going to be incredibly gravitating to have seven powerful, beautiful women that are divinely feminine, all working together and having a sisterhood, and they're like the epitome of beauty. I personally think they're going to set the standard of beauty for a whole generation, and I think they're going to be very influential. And I think we're going to use that influence for good. We're going to help a lot of single moms. We're going to help a lot of communities. We're going to build a lot of schools. We're going to help a lot of charities. We're going to do like so much good. I think it's just going to be like a force. There's nothing wrong with a one-on-one relationship, but imagine playing chess with seven queens. How powerful would you be?
I mean, it could be powerful, but that's a lot of energies. The two
Yeah,
energies that you
we're
have now, it seems like at times it can be. I don't want to say it can be a lot because I'm not with you guys 24/7, but I'm saying just two women. As women, we're emotional. We're just built different. We feel different. We view different. So I guess it's hard for most to fathom seven different entities that you're mixing, and they also have to mix with each other on the side of introducing children as well, which is a whole nother ball game. So it sounds beautiful, but it does sound very something you would read in a book.
yeah, it is going to be something that you're going to read in book. Hopefully, you guys read it in history books.
Okay.
That's the
Another
goal.
question. I'm sorry, what was that?
I said that's my goal.
I know that's right. Another question that I had is that for Olivia, I know everyone says this. I hate saying this because everybody say this, girl, you know you young, you know you look good. Who cares, you know? But do you feel like as a woman, there's so much more that you can learn? And I think that's a lot of the times what people are trying to insinuate. Of course, you're beautiful, you're successful, so you do have a brain that's further than most 20-year-olds. But do you feel like in other aspects there's still so much that you haven't learned, you haven't experienced? Do you feel that way?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like that's just the point people be making. And
Yeah.
then what's another question? I feel like I had so many questions, they just leaving me. Another, I guess not a question, but just comment that I see a lot that I get where people be coming from is, let's just take it back when people address the women asking to go to the restroom, which they don't really ask, but you always say that that's a courtesy to the viewers because it's a lot of people in here, and if someone wants to ask any of you guys a question, we will be able to know, like, oh, they went to the restroom. But there are a lot of times where I feel like that rule doesn't apply to you, and I get you're a man, you're the center of the relationship, but sometimes I feel like when you do it, it can come off very rude, and it's like you don't have any regard towards it. But when the women leave, it's out of respect for us.
I feel like I tell them every time I'm about to leave.
It's
The
not
thing,
just leaving.
the thing about me, I just whisper it in their ear. I'm just like, hey, and that's just how I handle it. And then I tell both of them. So a lot of the times, you guys may not like hear it.
So with that being said, most of the time when they tell you, we don't hear it. So a lot of the time people are trying to understand how is that for our benefit is when they tell you, they whisper in your ear or we can't
It's
quite
just,
hear that.
it's just,
You
just
know what I'm saying?
communication. It's just communication. Like I don't know if you
Not
were
for us.
like sometimes people may actually. It's just like a courtesy thing. Like I don't know what you guys want me to say. I get how it can look, and you guys can feel how like you want to feel, but it's literally just communication, and it was just being like courteous. That's all.
I get where you're coming from, but I just feel like the whole knit of what I'm saying is it's courtesy amongst you three, not necessarily us, because we cannot hear what you whisper in each other's ear. So when you say it's for our benefit, it doesn't quite make sense because we weren't able to hear what you said anyway. You could have said, I would like pepperoni pizza with pineapples. We wouldn't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
You know
it's
what I
also,
mean?
it technically is courteous because when people do ask, "Where's Olivia at?" he'll know instead of being
Okay,
like,
that makes sense.
we're being courteous of people's time too,
Okay.
because like we don't want people to be like, okay, now we gotta wait for Olivia. Okay, now so
Yeah.
just so we're
Right.
able to handle the situation more efficiently.
Okay. And then, Shanice, I know part of your mission is obviously supporting your man, but do you have your own, I guess, dreams, aspirations? Because I know Olivia owns her company. Shan's gonna save the world. Is there anything that you dreamed of doing as a little girl, something that you're dying, or something that's desperately on your heart that you want to accomplish or you want to do?
Retiring my mother. Positively impacting the world, not just my own community and locally, like the United States or whatnot, but also internationally.
Okay,
And
and was that? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I said internationally, and also like generating passive income to enough passive income to like so I won't have to work.
Mhm. And was that something that you always wanted, or was that something where, not saying Sean influenced, of course, your man is always going to bring out the best in you. So is that something that he kind of fueled and made more of like, okay, this is really something I want to do, or was it just already a thought in your mind?
Positively impacting like as many people as possible has always been like a dream of mine. But in regards to entrepreneurship and generating like passive income, he definitely influenced that a lot.
Okay. And what was your favorite part of Japan? What part were you in, if you don't mind me asking?
Yokosuka.
Me too. I would live there if I could speak the language fluently. Okay, I don't really have any other questions. I always watch and I feel like it's so much I want to say, but that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Have you been watching the live for a long time, or?
Yes, I have. I've been watching them, I'm not going to lie, for about 3 weeks off and on. It's very interesting, the poly dynamic, because like I said, I've been in a poly relationship.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess the only confusing part is that you guys aren't in a relationship. So that could be a little different. But it's just a lot of the ideology that you guys have. Speaking of
What?
ideology, oh, go ahead, girl.
Were you in a poly V or a poly triad?
Not with y'all on where the girls like each other, whatever that one is.
Poly
Triad.
triad, yeah.
But I'm bisexual, so it was, different or whatever.
What made it not work? Like, why is it
That's
not?
a great question. So what it didn't work is, like you said, a man has to be at his, if not fullest potential, to do that. So the man that was leading us couldn't really lead himself, so it did not work. He was very all over the place. And with the woman, it was a lot of insecurities. She was one of those where poly was never something that she envisioned. Liking women may not be something that was, totally at the forefront of her mind, but because she loved him, I'm going to try it, which I feel like is the absolute not way to go. If it's not something that you've already thought about by yourself, do not let no man convince you to bring other women into your relationship, because it's not going to work. It's not going to flow. The sisterhood, the chemistry is going to
Um,
be.
you don't think that it takes just a strong leader to like pull that off? Because I don't think every man deserves a relationship, much less poly. Like I think you gotta get to a certain level of self development. So like why? And I don't know the guy. I'm sure he was a great guy, but like why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody that can't lead themselves? Based off what you said.
Are you asking me why would I?
Yeah.
Because I was 19 and he was like my high school sweetheart turned. By the time we got into poly, I was like 19, just young and not knowing better, not seeing enough, not experiencing life, not knowing myself as a woman, not knowing exactly what a man is, what he should be, just not knowing. Just, oh, he said it, so it sounds good. Like, I like girls, not knowing what it actually is. I didn't even understand the fundamentals of a relationship, let alone a poly. So that's why
Makes
that was
sense.
like that.
So moving forward, you think your relationships in the future gonna be monogamy or poly?
I'm. Ooh, that's a tough question. Because I'm open to both, but honestly, when it comes to bringing children into this world, I do not think I would want to bring my children into a poly dynamic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I have to say, y'all.
Gotcha. Thank you, Ashley.
You got a business?
Oh, I don't have a business. I'm still actively working on a line, but I do want to say that I do have a YouTube channel, Ashley Apollo. I have the most informational Navy videos on YouTube, hands down on the planet. They're the most relatable, informational, non-biased. So Ashley Apollo, if you have any questions about the
What do
military,
you teach on there? Teach on there?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What do you teach on those videos?
I teach anything from what to expect to boot camp, I was a CS, so what CSA school is like, what living in Japan was like. If
Don't
you're
bypass.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, you was a CS. That means you can cook.
Yeah, I mean, everybody know the Navy CS is we don't be cooking like that though. Ain't really giving all that. We do what we can. We feed everybody though. You know what I mean?
Yes, I never met a CS that was not an exceptional cook. I've never met one.
What kind of ship you was on?
I never was on a ship. I can't even spell ship. I can spell lip. That's about it. But I can't spell ship. And the only reason why I can spell lip because they do right here. They just.
But yeah. So if anybody has any questions about the military, I'm telling you, the best Navy YouTube videos out, Ashley Apollo, and I firmly say that.
Ashley Apollo. I love it. Thank you, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye.